What if the Viking Empire still exists today? Have you ever wondered what the world would look like if the mighty Viking Empire had never fallen? Imagine a modern world shaped by Norse warriors, explorers, and traders. Stay with us until the end, because what you'll discover will completely change how you see history. Before we dive in, make sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell. That way you won't miss any of our fascinating explorations into alternate histories. Now, let's set sail into a world where the Viking Empire still exists today. The Viking Age may have ended over 1,000 years ago, but their influence was massive. They didn't just raid villages. They explored, traded, and even built settlements across Europe, Asia, and North America. In this alternate timeline, the Vikings would have expanded far beyond Scandinavia. Their ships would have crossed oceans and established colonies across every continent. By now, they could be one of the most powerful superpowers in the world. Imagine Viking cities thriving in North America long before Columbus ever arrived. The Norse would dominate trade routes, spreading their culture and influence across the globe. The United States as we know it might never have existed. The Viking Empire would also reshape Europe. Instead of fading into history, Norse kings and jarls could have ruled alongside or replaced monarchies in Britain, France, and beyond. Europe might look entirely different on the map today. Religion would be another huge shift. Christianity might not have dominated Europe if the Norse gods remained central to daily life. We might live in a world where Odin, Thor, and Freya are worshipped globally. That means modern culture would be filled with Viking mythology. Schools could teach Norse sagas alongside mathematics and science. Global holidays might celebrate Ragnarok instead of Christmas. Technology would also take a different path. Vikings were expert shipbuilders and navigators, far ahead of their time. With their empire still alive, we might have reached global exploration centuries earlier. Perhaps humans would have landed on the moon under a Viking banner instead of the American flag. Their thirst for discovery and dominance would drive innovation in ways we can barely imagine. Space could be the next ocean for Viking explorers. Architecture in our cities might also look different. Instead of Gothic cathedrals and modern skyscrapers, we might see grand wooden halls decorated with runes. Entire metropolises could be designed in the Norse style. And what about politics? Viking society was surprisingly democratic in some ways, with assemblies called things where free men made decisions. Modern governments could be built on Norse principles of shared leadership and warrior honor. Economically, the Viking Empire would dominate trade. Their control of seas and rivers would give them unmatched access to global markets. They might rival or even surpass today's economic giants like the US and China. Their warrior culture would shape international relations. Modern wars might be fought with a Viking code of honor, emphasizing bravery and reputation. The world could be both more violent and more respectful at the same time. Sports and entertainment would look different too. Instead of football or basketball, the global sport might involve Viking-inspired combat games. Arenas filled with thousands might cheer for warriors competing in epic tournaments. Food culture would also be transformed. Traditional Viking meals of fish, meat, and mead could dominate global cuisine. Street vendors in New York, Paris, or Tokyo might serve roasted boar and honey beer. Fashion would also carry Viking influence. Instead of suits and ties, people might wear fur-lined cloaks, leather armor, and rune-engraved jewelry. Global style could lean toward rugged and warrior-like appearances. Language itself could be reshaped. Old Norse might have evolved into the global lingua franca, just like English is today. We might all be speaking a modern version of the Viking tongue. Global symbols would change as well. Instead of crosses or stars, runes and Norse knots might dominate flags, coins, and even national emblems. The hammer of Thor could be as iconic as the Olympic rings. Climate and environment policies might also differ. Vikings deeply respected nature, seeing gods in forests, seas, and storms. Perhaps the modern world would be more sustainable under their leadership. In fact, the Viking Empire might have slowed industrial pollution. If Norse traditions valued harmony with the earth, we might not face today's climate crisis at the same scale. The balance between progress and nature could be stronger. Military technology would definitely be unique. Imagine tanks and fighter jets decorated with dragon heads, carrying the spirit of longships into modern battle. Their symbolism would intimidate enemies around the world. Naval power would remain central. The Viking Empire might command the largest and most advanced fleets on the planet. Global oceans could be dominated by ships flying banners of the raven or wolf. Space exploration could even take on a mythological twist. Instead of naming planets after Roman gods, Viking explorers might use Norse names. We could be studying Yggdrasilnine instead of Saturn's moon Titan. Education systems would also carry Viking influence. Children might grow up learning sagas alongside mathematics. Courage, exploration, and honor could be central values in classrooms worldwide. Even social structures would be different. Women in Viking society often had more rights than in other medieval cultures. A surviving Viking empire could have accelerated gender equality across the globe. Trade networks across Asia might also look different. Instead of the Silk Road being dominated by China and the Middle East, Norse traders might control it. Entire economic routes could be Viking branded. Art and literature would reflect Norse traditions. Instead of Shakespeare being the pinnacle of Western art, epic Viking sagas might dominate literature classes. The stories of Ragnar Lothbrok and Laegortha could be household names. Tourism would be transformed too. Instead of visiting castles or cathedrals, people might travel to grand Viking temples or shipyards. Scandinavian regions could be the cultural capital of the world. Global alliances would be shaped by Viking diplomacy. Treaties might be signed with ritual feasts and oaths sworn under Norse gods. International politics could carry a spiritual and ceremonial weight. Music would also be different. The global music industry might be inspired by traditional Viking chants and instruments. Imagine pop stars performing with war drums and lyres on global stages. Even the internet might reflect Norse culture. Websites, apps, and social media could use rune-inspired designs. Instead of likes, you might earn honor points on your posts. Your religious conflicts might look different in this timeline. Instead of Christian versus Muslim wars, we could see Norse beliefs clashing or blending with others. The spiritual landscape of the world would be completely altered. But would the world be better or worse under the Viking Empire? That's a difficult question. On one hand, their honor-based society and exploration spirit might push humanity forward. On the other, their warrior culture could make the world more dangerous. Still, one thing is certain: the Vikings' influence would be undeniable. From politics to space, from food to language, the modern world would look completely different. The Viking Empire could be one of history's greatest powers. So, what do you think? Would a Viking-dominated world be a utopia of honor and exploration, or a battlefield of endless conquest? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this journey through alternate history, make sure to like the video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more. Your support helps us create more fascinating explorations into the worlds that could have been. And remember, history is not just about the past, it's about the infinite possibilities of what could have happened. The Viking Empire may be gone, but its legacy still shapes us today. Till next time, keep imagining the worlds that might have been.